Hi, what's going on YouTube? What's up, Raider Nation? I'm Bubba the Raider. I'm coming at you today, night before the draft. I'm going to do a real quick, and it's going to be real rough, first round mock draft for all 32 teams. Actually, it's not all 32 that have picks. I'm going to try and kind of speed through it because then I'm going to do a 7 round mock draft for the Raiders. I'm just going to use PFF here. I always find this to be fun and see kind of where, especially when I go back and I look back at what I predicted before, how close I was, who I was right on, who I was wrong on. So this first one, I'm going to just do all 32 teams for 1 round. I'm not going to do any trades. I do think there will be some. I think the Raiders might trade up. Sorry about my dogs in the background. I also think the Chiefs might trade up. And I don't know the other teams' rosters like I know the Raiders. I might be behind on some free agents, but we'll have some fun with it. Okay, so this is going to be just crazy. But with the first pick, I'm going to have the Raiders take Fernando Mendoza. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm excited about it. All right, pick 2. This is where they say the draft actually starts. And I'm not sure that that's true. I really think that they're going to go with Arvell Reese. So the Jets are going to take Arvell Reese. This is where I think the Chiefs could trade up. I'm not going to have them trade up. But you know what? Actually, I said I'm there. It's not going to be trades. There's going to be a trade. I'm going to actually do this. I hate the Chiefs so freaking much. And I really would not like this. But I'm going to say give us the 2. They're going to do this. 2 first-round picks for the number 3. I'm going to force that. The Chiefs are going to move up. And with that, they are going to take David Bailey. Hate this. All right, Titans on the clock. I really think that they could go Jeremiah Love here. They could go Ruben Bain. I know there's questions about his arm strength. His arm length. I am gonna have them take Jeremiah Love. The Giants are on the clock here. Interesting for them. They have another pick in a couple picks. I am going to have them select. Sonny Styles would be really interesting. I'm going to have them take Carnell Tate, though. I like the idea of them pairing him with Malik Neighbors. All right, the Browns are now on the clock. They're going to be protecting whoever their quarterback of the future is going to be. I'm going to have them take Francis Mauanoa. Washington is on the clock here. What do I do with Washington? You know, I really liked for the Giants the idea of them getting Caleb Downs, but I'm actually going to have him go to Washington to the Commanders here. One of the best safety prospects we've seen maybe ever, Kyle Hamilton. I like him going to Washington. For the Saints here, I'm going to have them take Ruben Bain. I feel like Sonny Styles would be better, but I think that this would be a Saints move here. With that, the Cardinals have moved back. They're going to end up getting Sonny Styles, which is really nice for them. The Giants earlier, I had them selecting Carnell Tate. I think for this, I'm going to have them take, because I wanted them to have, I wanted them to be able to take Caleb Downs. They're not going to get Caleb Downs or Styles, but Dylan Thieneman is unbelievable. I'm a big Ducks fan. I'm going to have them take Thieneman. Let's see here. The Dolphins kind of need everything, but they really need wide receiver. I'm going to have them take Makai Lemon. Right? No. I'm going to have them take Jordan Tyson. More size. They have a lot of those kind of speedy guys. I'm going to have them take Jordan Tyson. Dallas here is going to take Mansour Delane. They're going to win out here with a really solid corner. And I'm trying to kind of mix it around a little bit. Dang. Okay. The Rams being able to get Lemon would be nasty. It would be really nice for them to be able to get Spencer Fano as well. I'm ultimately going to take Makai Lemon for them here. This is where the Ravens, um, this would have been the Raiders' pick had they traded Max, but the Ravens backed out. I think everyone thinks they're going to take Vega Ione, and so do I. So that's what we're. Ooh, CJ Allen. There's that. I saw a picture today of people are concerned about their linebacker. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? This is a crazy day for me, you guys. Roquan Smith, thinking that he looks like he's gained a lot of weight. I'm going to take Ione. And Fano, some people think he might need to make the move into guard. But I'm ultimately going to just take Ione because he's a stud. All right, Tampa Bay. This is a place where I think probably Kenyon Sadiq should go. I think that'd be good to add that weapon. They've lost out on Mike Evans, and Kenyon Sadiq is just a monster tight end. All right, the Jets. I had them take Arvell Reese. I'm going to have them take. This is hard because I just don't know the rosters like I know the Raiders roster. I am going to have them because they don't need a tackle. I don't think they need a tackle at all. I'm going to have them take Jermod McCoy. I know he's got the injury. No, I'm not. I'm going to have them. Yeah. Jermod McCoy. They're looking to replace Sauce Gardner. I'm gonna take them. This is a place I think for Spencer Fano here for the Lions. Pair him up with Penei Sewell. Actually, it might be Monroe Freeling. I think Freeling played more left tackle. Because Penei plays right. I haven't watched a ton of Freeling, if I'm honest. I did watch some Fano. I guess he played left tackle. Oh, before he flipped to right. I'm going to take Monroe Freeling. I think that they need a lot more of his pass block ability, and there's some questions about Fano's hands. I really don't know that I think Fano will fall this far, but it's interesting. Okay. The Vikings here says that they need running back, center, defensive interior, and safety. This defensive interior class, I think, is going to fall. So I think really for them right here, I am going to go ahead and grab up Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I really don't think he'll go there, but with the way that this board has fallen, I don't think they need offensive line as much. But again, you're taking best player available. I'm going to take Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Call it a day. Okay. Same thing here, man. This is tough. This is a place where a guy like Omar Cooper could really go, and he could pair so nicely with Tet McMillan, and I think ultimately that is what I'm going to do here, is take a guy like Omar Cooper. I also think the same could be true of Casey Concepcion. I like him a lot, but I'm going to take Omar Cooper. There's some rumors that we'll trade up to grab him. All right. With the Cowboys, their last pick, we had them take Mansour Delane. They could definitely use more defensive help. Again, I don't watch a ton of the Cowboys. And I know that they've invested heavy in their offensive line. It hasn't looked the best, but they have invested a lot in it. I'm going to have them take CJ Allen here, linebacker, to kind of help in the middle there. Now, this is an interesting spot. This is a place where I really strongly think you start getting in the conversation of Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson will be a first-round pick tomorrow. Ultimately, with the way the board has fallen, I'm going to take Spencer Fano. Like, what a win for them. And Aaron Rodgers might be back. All right, the Chargers. I'm going to have them take a punter. I'm just kidding. Wide receiver, guard, defensive interior, and safety. I think with the way the board has gone, this would be, and I know it's not going to go this way. Like, some of these guys are going to kind of sneak in here. I'm going to have them take Caden Proctor with the intention of moving him inside, which is where most people think he's going to be at his best. And I don't like that at all. Okay. The Eagles really need a wide receiver. And I think what they are going to do, it's going to kill me because this is what I want the Raiders to do. I think they'll take Denzel Boston here. They're going to have to replace A.J. Brown. I'm not saying he is an A.J. Brown type replacement, but he is a big body receiver who is going to be able to help them out. This is another place where realistically, like, the Browns could take Ty Simpson. Who did I have them take with their first pick? Francis Mauigoa. I'm going to have them take Akeem Mesidor and pair him. I don't know who they have coming off the other edge, but pair him up with Myles Garrett. That's nasty. Okay, the Bears here. This says they need defensive line, center, safety. I am going to have the Bears snatch up Caleb Banks. A lot of concern about the injury. He feels like a Bears player to me. Also wouldn't mind him with the Raiders. That's what I'm going to have them do. I really would hate to see a run on defensive interior because I really think the Raiders need to address that, but I'm going to go ahead and have the Bills take Caden McDonald here. All right, the 49ers. What do the 49ers do? It says they need a guard, a tackle, which is, I know, like, okay, here's Blake Miller. Could be a in total in play, but they did just get a deal done with Trent Williams. I'm going to have them take Keldrick Falk. I know there's a lot of upside to him, but there's also a lot of question marks. I think he's too good to pass up there. Houston. Running back, center, guard, defensive interior. Peter Woods. I hate this for the Raiders. I'm literally taking all the guys that I want the Raiders to take. This right here is where Ty Simpson's going to go. Right to the Cardinals. Man, the Cardinals. Great way to walk away with that. All right. Avion Terrell is going to be the pick. Wait, who did I have them take with their first pick? Jordan Tyson. Yeah, Avion Terrell. What a couple picks for them. The Patriots are going to walk away with an absolute stud here in Blake Miller. And actually, no, they're not. They're going to walk away with Max Ihanacher, right tackle. I think that they need that. I know they drafted Will Campbell. They might move him into guard, but I like this. All right, and then my favorite of the picks, I've got a buddy who I work with, huge Seahawks fan. I mean, I've got a lot of friends who are Seahawks fans. My buddy Jordan's a massive Seahawks fan. But I got a friend who is a big Seahawks fan. They need a defensive back. I think this guy might sneak into the first round. And my friend's name is Chris Johnson, and so that is what I'm going to have. My friend who loves the Seahawks, I'm going to have them take Chris Johnson. I like that for them. All right. So that is my first round when I really don't know what I'm doing for 31 other NFL teams. Let me do real quick my 7-round mock draft for the Raiders. I know that it is not going to go this way, but we're going to go ahead and do it like this anyway. All right. First pick. Let's call it a day. It's Fernando Mendoza. Super exciting. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Raiders trade back up into the first round to try and grab up someone like a Denzel Boston who went right here, which sucks. Okay, now this is tough. I talked about this in the video that I'm uploading right now. I don't know what the Raiders should do in this situation. We have so much youth that didn't get a fair enough shake to show us what they can and cannot do. I think if Denzel Boston and guys like Caleb Banks and Peter Woods are off the board here, I think the Raiders might want to trade back. Not with them. And pick up a couple extra picks if they can. We'll go this way. 47's quite a ways to trade back, but I'm not going to trade back. I'm changing my mind. Ugh. Okay. Sorry. I know we've all done this a million times. Caden McDonald is too good not to take right here, so I'm going to take Caden McDonald. I think we really need that big-bodied defensive tackle. All right. Which is good because Dominique Orange ended up going, and that would have been my next pick. I really love the idea. It's so overplayed. I know this is so overplayed, but we need a big-bodied receiver, and Elijah Surratt is not too big, okay? And he's not super athletic. I don't know that he's that much different than what we have in Jack Bech, but what I do know is that he has rapport with Fernando, and Fernando loves to throw those back shoulder fades and contested balls, and Surratt is so good at that. So I am going to take him here. I really am interested in Mike Washington here. We need to address that. I wouldn't mind Tiernan, depending on what we think about Charles Grant. Zachariah Branch is also like really good, and he's a Raider legacy. But I am, at the end of the day, I'm going to take Surratt. It's going to be boring. I know that we've seen this played out a million times. Okay. So when we just look at like what PFF says our needs are, what I think our biggest needs are, we have addressed some of our biggest needs. Additionally, I think our next biggest need after quarterback and defensive interior, even more than wide receiver maybe, is a free safety. And we have that right here with Genesis Smith out of U of A, which is disgusting. He's gotten better. I like to look at PFF scores. It's not the end all be all, but I really like to look at things like his coverage grade. You can break it down, look at some of the more specific statistics, but he's gotten better every year, and that's something I really like. 6'2", he's a junior. I'm taking him. Ted Hurst is really interesting. We just took a receiver. I'm taking Genesis Smith. We have 3 fourth-round picks. And again, Bud Clark is here too. Like we could have taken someone else there. I like Malik Muhammad a little bit. But ultimately I think that we needed to just get that free safety. Okay. Looking around at what's available right in here. I really like Jacoby Lane too. I ultimately am going Bryce Betcher. We don't. Yeah. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to double up on that defensive interior. I'm going to take Chris McClellan. Um, I like him. He's another big body, which we already have, but like you need a good rotation. Those big guys get hurt. I think we need to double up here. And right on cue, we have room for Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska. Really like him, explosive running back. I think he'd be a really good complement to Ashton Jeanty. And I also like Damon Claiborne as well. Um, I think that we need a little bit of something different. Someone like a Kalen Black, who I really like as well, to give us kind of that power back, more powerful back to complement Jeanty. Ultimately, though, I am going to take out of Indiana Pat Coogan. I know that we brought in Tyler Linderbaum. This is a 5th round pick, depth. In case of injury, he can play guard if need be. He has a history with Fernando. I like that a lot. And look at this. Kalen Black is right here. It's probably going to give me a poor grade for that move, but I don't care. So when I look at our picks so far, we have drafted 4 Indiana players, and that's coming from a Ducks fan. This is crazy. So we got 2 more picks in the 4th round, or in the 6th, and 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. You're really looking to fill positions where you need, as well as take a chance on people who can develop. So here's what I am doing. I am going to take a guy who I am very intrigued by, specifically for his return ability, to add more depth to our receiver room, and that is Kendrick Law. Very strong, short, compact, and extremely fast player. I think a lot of upside there with Kendrick Law. And my last pick, I'm going to have the Raiders take, if he's still on the board. He is not. I was going to take Harold Perkins. I don't know why. I think he'll ultimately be like a 4th round pick tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, this weekend. So I don't want to take another Indiana player. I do like the idea of taking one of these guys, a fullback, to come in and kind of compete. I think we need, safety depth. Some of these guys have been good. We need corners. Ultimately, we have so many needs that I just don't think we're going to be able to fill all the holes that we have. So, obviously that's the case. So what do I do here? I like Eric Gentry. He's interesting to me. He's really big. I think he's like 6'5", 6'6", explosive, athletic. Taylon Green's interesting too. I know we took our quarterback. I wouldn't mind that competition. I'm going to take a corner. TJ Guy. This is tough, man. This is real tough. TJ Hall's an interesting one too. Again, you're looking for someone who's gonna basically be able to really help out on special teams. And honestly, at the depth, I'm gonna take Jaden Canaday. I was not a huge fan of him at Oregon this year, but he's athletic. He's going to offer us some special teams ability, and who knows what he could develop into. All right, that's an Oregon homer pick for me to offset some of those Indiana and Ohio State picks. So it's given me an A grade here. I thought it might knock me on this Coogan pick because he was rated lower than Kalen Black, but I like it, right? I like getting Fernando is comfortable with some of the pieces around him and potentially that could end up playing, especially when he plays. I don't think he's starting week 1. I don't know if he'll be starting week 10. Okay? But if he's going into week 11 as the starter, and let's say, God forbid, Linderbaum goes down, I like the idea of putting in a center who he is familiar with and has a history with. I think in this case, the Raiders walk away with everybody in here who can contribute, make the squad, and 1, 2, 3, maybe four new starters, 5 potentially, depending on what happens with the rest of the defensive line. And then just solid contributors. I like this draft. So let me know what you think. Again, I'm not an expert. I didn't get to spend as much time this year scouting as I normally like to. I feel like I say that every year, but it's true. I just have a lot of responsibilities. But this is what I got. So let me know. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't. And I'm so excited for tomorrow when we get our new quarterback. We'll all be watching. All right. And as always, just win, baby.